Hello everybody and welcome to a vlog, and today I actually should have brought the boxes up here but never mind. I want to say what I think Obsidian, so I'll get into who they are later, should do the next Fallout game. Now pretty much anyone who's played maybe Fallout 4 or is new to the series through that game probably don't know who Obsidian are. Obsidian were the original creators of Fallout. So they made Fallout 1, 2 and I think it was Fallout Tactics. That's a game I know. I don't know if it was made by them. I don't think it was very good. But anyway, I have recently been playing Fallout New Vegas. I'm still playing through it. I've done one of the DLCs, trying to get into another one, which is really difficult. I'm going back and trying to find trying to get an implant. But anyway, but I played through them, and I've also watched videos on them and things like that. And I can see the differences between the two companies and how they work. So, this is sort of why I think they should, as I said, make the next Fallout game. Now, Obsidian, I think, are more focused on their RPG. So, for instance, Fallout, I think, is more of a shooter, and it works okay, like, for instance, with Gordon. I don't like the voice acting, for instance, but, like, not the voice acting in general, just that the character has a voice. And I have started downloading mods. I just need to get that account online, and if I go back to it, which I probably will, maybe after Halloween or something like that, I will try and get on a DLC in and start trying to play that. This will then actually lead into then as being some mods, and that's sort of where I think Fallout has increased and why Fallout 4 was so popular, even though it's not usually critically claimed as good, is that it has those mods, which I think are really cool, and as I said, very useful. You can get all of these mods and is there you can change stuff around. Still think they should work on trying to get some way a mod into an alternate start mod into there, because I would love an alternate start mod. I don't like the normal game, but anyway, and if you look at the two sort of Bethesda versions of Fallout, and to be honest, all of the Fallout games do have a fairly set up backstory, but one of the things that Fallout New Vegas, you have a backstory in some ways, but only one of the DLCs touches upon it. It's the Lone Road or the Lonesome Road or something like that, in which I think touches more onto your backstory, but not too much. Really, you don't ever get to mention that, and you can do some stuff. Like, for instance, when I went and talked to Veronica, who is one of the companions that you can find like Trading Post 188. And you can actually, she asks you where you're from, and you can say Good Springs Prim, I think, or don't know. Which I think was quite cool. I went for Good Springs, so I would have, now that I think about it, I would have liked to have gone with, like, for instance, that option, because I like that you can choose sort of where you're from, and you do have this little backstory, but also you're not that much of an important character. Well, so I think they should work on this and actually make it that, you do gain popularity, but you can also lose it, sort of, so you become known, but for different reasons and things like that. Fallout New Vegas doesn't so much have that, but it does have the karma system, which I'm a bit annoyed that they removed in Fallout 4. The karma system, I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but I'm pretty sure this is basically how it worked. Every time you came across a new town that was owned by a faction, or technically with their own little group in some ways, and usually had an effect on the ending. So, for instance, I think there's Prim, Good Springs, and Novak, I think, are the first ones that you come across. I believe the Trading Post 188, I think, also has one. So does Camp McCarran. I think Hoover Dam might have one, though I couldn't, when I got there, I didn't get a marker or anything. And then you also have the group factions. And your karma system, depending on who you help and who you don't help, so if you kill, for instance, what happened with me, it was quite early in the game, I killed a lot of Legion members. This caused a lot of problems, because then they sent assassins after me. And the assassins are really tough. I only ran across them twice before I actually got the mark of Kaiser. I think it's spelt Caesar, but they pronounce it Kaiser. Don't know if that's a script error or if it's actually Kaiser, but I think Kaiser is spelled with a K, not a C. But anyway, you get, eventually, if you don't kill Benny, you get the Mark of Kaiser, and you can then enter, I can hear a fly in here, and you can enter the area where you need to get to, basically. And in doing that, they remove all your past crimes, and I think basically every faction does this at that point, because you need to talk, you can choose any of the sides, but anyway, and when, but that sort of thing that you get sent after assassin, even if you don't directly affect that area. So, for instance, I didn't directly affect a prison, which is run by, I cannot remember the name of the group, but you do meet them in Good Springs, I think, basically, as soon as you enter the saloon. I think as soon as you enter, there's a guy in, like, a security guard outfit. He's part of a group that I cannot remember what the name is. But yeah, and you can either side with them or not and try and find this person, basically, they're looking for. Don't really want to spoil it. But because I went against them and I attacked them in Good Springs, I gained fame with, well, not fame, I gained karma with Good Springs and lost karma with that faction, but that location in particular. So that's sort of one of the things. Technically, that was in Fallout 3 and things like that, so I do understand. But also, how they were so much more focused on that RPG. So, as I said, there's a lot of free choice. Basically, nearly anything you do in this game does affect the ending. I haven't really found many stuff that don't affect that ending. I've looked, and you can find this, if you look up towns and things like that on, like, fandom page, you can find each one, and they give you each one of the endings for if you affected that area. So, for instance, as I said, there's Camp McCarran, Prim, has, like, no sheriff when you get there, so you can do a quest which gives them a sheriff, or if you want, you can kill everyone there. That is an ending. That goes into the ending, that's put in, and I thought it was really quite clever. You can also mix multiple factions together, which they sort of did, I suppose, in Fallout 4 a little bit, but it was that thing that those groups came to help. For instance, I am right now friends with basically every group, and I'm just sort of neutral with Kaiser's Legion. The Legion, I just don't want to mess with them anymore. I am a little bit hated, but yeah. Yeah, and whilst I think they could have obviously, you know, come up with a slightly better reason, this is slightly like a review, I suppose, as well, for why you do keep helping even after you sort of get revenge on Benny. As I said, if you don't kill him, technically you still have a reason to keep going. But after that, in some ways you can almost stop and just pretend that you don't affect the rest of the ending. But I don't really see any reason for why you would usually try to continue going on and try to finish the game like they say. They obviously could have worked on that, but yeah. Also, I think they were a little bit more creative about some stuff. For instance, this was one of the options that was scrapped for the game, and I think some modders have added this in. One of these things in. But in the character creation, you could choose to be human, ghoul, or super mutant. I think that would have been amazing. Obviously, though, it does make sense for super mutants because they're so much bigger, they're different. Armor, weaponry, how people talk to you, everything would have had to have been redone to work around your character being a super mutant. Ghoul, I would say, still not much. There's still a little bit of hate for them in some areas. But, yeah, I think that was a really quite cool idea that they had that. And it made sense. You weren't... In this one, it's not stated, so if you want, you can be from a vault. For instance, my character comes from Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas. And because of that, they are technically from a vault. But if you want, they're not from a vault. The only reason you have a vault suit is because the guy who treats you at the beginning of the game... you are, I suppose it's not too bad. You're shot in the head twice by the bad guy. You survive. I suppose it's a bit iffy, but I suppose, yeah, I suppose some people would miss. He's probably a very bad shot. I don't think he is anyway a very good shot. I killed him with a pole cube, and he had a gun. Well done. That gun was really good though. And yeah, so yeah, he treats you and he gives you a vault suit. You're not from a vault. Unlike all the other characters, I suppose, in Fallout, it was separate. And as I said, if you want, you can be from a vault. You have a pit boy, you have everything. You can pretty much say, yeah, you are from a vault. But yeah, and as I said, there's also a load more factions. Fallout 4 has, well, I suppose I'm counting here the factions, technically, so, big and not, so I suppose in some ways Gunners count slightly as a faction. I'm counting them in because I'm also going to count another group, not similar, but they're like a raider group. But anyway, so there's the Gunners, there's the Institute, there's the Brotherhood, there's the Railroad, and there's the Minutemen. 5 groups. Fallout, as I said, there's that group that I cannot remember the name of. They're like a side group, so they're not a main faction. They're like a little group. They have an effect on the ending, but they're still a faction, and you still can side with them a little bit if you want, and they can help you depending on who you go with for the final part of the game. But I don't really think. But yeah, so there's that group. Then there's I really should have looked at their name before I did this. Then there's the actually I think there's the Runners or something like that. No, the Gunners. Very similar. No, I can't remember what they're called. I think they were something like Gunners, and they built guns, but they're sort of similar to, I suppose, the other ones in some ways. I suppose they're not really a faction though, because they're a company. Anyway, so yeah, then there's the Great Khans, there's the Fiends, who are a bit like the Gunners. They're not really an optional faction, but they're sort of like a raider group, but they're big enough to actually have a name. So yeah, there's the NCR, which is the main group, the Brotherhood of Steel, which is a side group, the Boomers, which is a side group, there are the Kaiser's Legion, and what's the final group? I suppose there are sort of 2 other ones. There's also, I suppose one of them isn't really a faction, but there's Mr. House, who technically becomes a faction after you get him a robot army, which is optional. You don't have to do that. And then there's sort of Yes Man. He's not really a faction because he's a one robot, but he helps you get independent New Vegas basically. So he's probably the easiest to go with because the others I'm yet to figure out how to join. You don't join. That's another thing. You don't join a group. You don't have a rank. And I thought that was quite clever because it means that even though technically they don't let you play after the game, it means that you're not tied down to this group. And in some ways it almost means you're, unlike Fallout where for instance you join a group, you raise up the ranks in the Brotherhood, in the Minutemen you're the General. I think you just become an agent in the Railroad. I'm not sure, I never finished the game and I've never really looked at the ending for the Railroad, but yeah, and the Institute, you once again become the leader. That technically means you're tied to those groups. You can't, unless you were to come up, if you wanted to keep it like a role-playing thing where you continue your character along these stories, which seems pretty understandable, the time spans are quite close together. If you want to do that, Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas isn't that bad, because as I said, I think it's been 6 years, so in between that time there's 6 years between Fallout 3 to Fallout New Vegas, and then there's 4 years from Fallout New Vegas to Fallout 4. But yeah, and in that you could almost keep carrying this character across. Problem is, Fallout 4 you need an alternate start mod. It's still cool, you can get it, but you need a PC. That would just make up an alternate start, which I would have loved, which I do most of the time. Anyway, but it's quite a nice idea that you can just carry your character across. And that thing that, as I said, with not being tied down to a faction, literally means you can keep this idea that your character keeps going. And you can just go, okay, then do I want to have, you can almost go, oh yeah, then after this, my character left. I know some people won't do this, but, you can think like that. You can go like, oh yeah, then my character left this area. They went off and they went to, I don't know, back to Vault City, because apparently you've been there. Which I don't know where Vault City comes in. I think it's the first game, but yeah, and you go back to Vault City or something like that. And you can just say that, no one can question it, and also no one can go, but what about, how did you leave this group? Like, for instance, how did you leave the Minutemen or the General? Who's now in charge? No one would be able to say that because you were never a part of them. That's the thing, that's what I liked about that. Also, the DLCs, once again, also quite clever. They left things quite free and opened up. Like, for instance, I'm right now playing Dead Money. Also, as I say, skills play a big role in this. I have a high science and a high speech. They are really useful having those 2 high up. Problem is, every time you level up, you've then got to subsequently drag away from something else. So my guns, my energy, and my survival, which turns out to actually have been quite useful for getting into honest hearts, which would have meant that I could take all my stuff and not just. I can't remember what the weight limit was. The weight limit was like 50. I can barely carry that much. I took 2 guns and an armor set. Once you get there, you can carry anything in and out after you finish. But before that, no, you can't. You've got to take this limited amount of stuff in. And once again, that's quite clever because you go there and you got to go. What's the best and the lightest thing that I can carry? Stimpaks. Once again, also adding into the survival theme. Stimpaks, really rare. This is why I couldn't continue on that game part. I ran out of Stimpaks in Dead Money. Dead Money, I probably looted by that time. Every single one. What you had to do was get to the top of a tower. Thank goodness I had figured out. I had talked to Dog, who's a super mutant with a split personality. You talk to him. You talk enough on how he actually kills these things, because you can't kill them when you start. You just knock them unconscious, meaning when you come back, they're still alive. So you can talk to him, and he will tell you how to kill them. And that's quite useful. I did that, and it's obviously useful when you're running off by yourself, because then it's not a time limit. But I had all of the food. I ate everything to get my health back up. It was back up. I had radiation sickness, used my only ran away to get rid of it. And then went on, reached the top, very little health. I had like, okay, the bar's about that big, I have about up there. I had basically nothing. Got to the top. There's a super Stimmax hole it is, so I could have gone and done that. Super Stimmax basically, I think they give you a little bit of regeneration, a little bit of a boost in some stuff, and give you a bunch of health. I think it was like double the health of a normal Stimpak. But they are incredibly rare. Doctor's bags, which heal only your broken limbs. Useful if you break multiple limbs but don't lose much health. And yeah, but I didn't have any, and I couldn't leave because now every area doubled its enemies. I couldn't get out of the tower. I died too many times. So I gave up, went back, and now I'm looking for. I'm not sure if this was put there, but that thing that you could also get implants. This was always quite a clever thing. Implants let you give boosts, and actually seems slightly realistic. If you think about it, it's been 200 years. There are robots everywhere. There are terminals with computer stuff, and people smart enough. The boomers have literally, if you side with them, make a plane that can fly and drop bombs. Surely someone can make more sci-fi stuff. There's also recharge weaponry. Really useful to start the game, though become really bad later on. They're very inaccurate and don't do much damage. At the start, they're really useful to get, and I think I got mine quite early on. Same thing goes in the other ones, but yeah. And I just feel like Obsidian did such a better job. Also, the thing that when you begin the game, depending on what you have, if you have like a maxed out intelligence, like I have, which actually doubles my points. Every time I level up, I get more points than if I had a low intelligence. Really useful. Just letting you know that. I then, just took a look at some of the stuff that there was, and yeah, and when you do that, he says that maybe those bullets do some good for your brains, and each time you choose something different. I'm trying to remember. Oh, luck. That's the only one I know both sides to, I think. Luck. If you have a really low luck, I think it. I'm not quoting this, but I think I know what it says. That does make a look of sense. To me, you're the luckiest person alive. Put it up to maximum with luck like yours, and surprised bullets didn't just turn around and go back into the gun. It's someone there with you. Whilst in Fallout 4, they don't do that. I know there's one character which does take into consideration actually your stats, but they only do it for if you have a high skill, high special in something. I think having that thing that when you're created, you get either a compliment or something that's not really a compliment just to your character, and it just does make you feel like you're a little bit unique in some ways. And then I love that thing when you're a doctor, and he has those picture things, like those weird black stain things, and they ask you what does that look like? One of the ones that I always see, it was one of the ones, it looked like 2 bears high-fiving by a campfire or something. That wasn't an option, and in what he gets from that, he gets your personality, shows you what they think you're like. Very close. All he had was something off slightly. I think I took something out of repair, not realizing how useful it was, and put it into that. But also stuff like, for instance, you need a certain skill and a certain level to get a certain thing. For instance, I have a skill, I can't remember what it's called, but it lets you repair items with similar items. So for instance, you can repair leather armor with, think, any other version of leather armor. Quite useful. But you need a repair of 90 and you need to be level 14. And yeah, there are also so many more. I feel like there are more ones which mean that you don't hit your companions when shooting. Also, certain companions have a different, have an actual sort of. I think some people have said they're not that fleshed out, and I don't think they're massively fleshed out. But I've been going around with Veronica, and I've quite liked having her around. She's worried about like the Brotherhood and what they're doing, and I convinced her to leave, and then realised that it was a horrible decision because they killed so many people, and then I had to kill some guys in power armor. I can't even put on power armor. That's another thing. You need a skill to wear power armor. Sort of makes sense when you think about it. It's big heavy armor. You need something, and apparently I don't have a high enough strength to get that skill. I am the right level, or I'm over that level to get it, but not a good enough strength. Not enough strength and something else to get that on, apart from level. But yeah. And yeah, but also Veronica has her strength is in punching. She has a power fist, and that's another thing. And not enemies. Companions have better skills than things. You can tell them to keep their distance so they're a little bit further behind. You can tell them to be aggressive. That when you come near an enemy, they will attack. Then this would have been so useful in Fallout 4 because they just attacked every deer that you came across. I don't know what they're actually called, but I know they're mutated deers. It would have been so useful to have I think it's pacifist or peaceful, but that option there, just to tell them, don't attack enemies unless I attack them. It's useful at some points, not at others, because it means that if you're shooting at them, and it's only when you hit them. But anyway, also there's so many weapons. I know there weren't so many mods and things like that, modes. I don't know. On the weapons and things like that, but it was still very entertaining to be able to just, have this thing where, you buy a weapon. To get into Las Vegas, Diamond City, you go straight there. That's the main place. Fallout New Vegas, you go basically, so picture the screen. There's a map. I think it's over here. It would be over here because I've got to remember this is reversed. Okay, so I think you start over here, basically. If I have this wrong, I'm really sorry. But yeah. And then you sort of move, you move down the map over here, and New Vegas is over here. Around here, up here, like this. You take forever to get in there. And then not that, when you actually need to get in, it costs you 2,000 to actually get in. Unless you have proper documents, which I don't think there are any. There's another way in, but I think it's apparently only for VIPs. And it's like this train. It does explain why when I tried to get onto it, I was instantaneously attacked. I walked like 20 feet near it. 20 meters probably. I can't remember. But yeah, I was quite far away and I just got attacked by NCR. Also the disguise system. You could disguise yourself as a member of a team and go in. And yeah, and I just feel like Obsidian also, because of the Obsidian's thing, they know how the game works and they sort of, I feel like they should make the next game because it just felt really quite good. I prefer it over Fallout 4. I don't care about the graphics and things like that. I like how it feels. It feels more like I'm in a real place, and in some ways it's a story I more prefer. Fallout with Bethesda has been like these family things, whilst Fallout New Vegas was do what you will. Start here, go. You can go there, or you can go find Benny, and you can kill him right there or not. And if you don't, you get ambushed, and then he escapes. He is taken by Kaiser. You go. You get your revenge in whichever way you want to have him killed off. Or if you want to save him, you can do that. Though I don't recommend it. Maybe don't do it at night. I did it at night. Maybe he's meant to... Because I gave him a stealth boy and a picklock, which he said he would sneak away when no one was looking. I instantaneously got attacked and he ran off. So... And then I died in like a second. But yeah, so... Anyways. So as I said, I really think Obsidian should do the next game. Then Bethesda take a look, see what they did, and try it, and then do their own game, and see which one gets better. Because I know some people, I'm not sure if this is actually true, a lot of people have said that Obsidian aren't going to be doing any more Fallout games because Bethesda don't like them. I do like the idea that they are just annoyed with them because they can make a better Fallout game than them. True. So yeah. So Bethesda, if I doubt you're going to watch this, but you know, just I really think they should take into consideration that Obsidian did do a really good game, and I think that they should let them do another one and just see how it goes. If it gets good response, let them keep making more Fallout games and just have them as like a little not side note, but you know, a side company who at least, maybe if not making the game, but at least giving people a direction, maybe a way to look at it. Maybe get a story writer or the director for it from Obsidian, someone who either worked on Fallout New Vegas or one of the previous games, and just ask them to take a look at Fallout and just go, what kind of story would you like, and you know, just get them to make a story, because they seem to be really good at doing this. I don't know any other games that they've made, but Fallout New Vegas was the main one, and I think they did a really good job with it. So yeah, Obsidian, hope you get a next game. Yay. Anyway, so that's sort of I don't really think I have anything else to add on to that. It was basically just a review, almost, of Fallout New Vegas. I loved it. I'm still loving it. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Really? This never works. Thanks for watching, I'll see you later. Bye.